Good morning, folks. Things are warming up here in Nebraska. 10 a.m. It's already 80 degrees, about 50% humidity. So it's almost on the sticky side. But we transplanted some plants last night in the garden, some of the last of our peppers. So we need to go check on those, and we'll take a look at the garden and get her done. We weeded the driveway yesterday, or later last night. You can see we had a few weeds in here. That driveway rake just kicks them right up. We need to mow these outer areas here later on today. Looks like we have a rhubarb recipe here in the near future. What do you think, Ruby? She's looking pretty good. Here's our peppers that we put out last night. You can see the leaves right here, a little droopy. So we're going to give them a shot of water to perk them up. That'll get them right out of that little transplant shock. What happens is the root ball around the plant's a little more moist than probably what the soil is. And this will also make sure we've got good contact down around those new roots that are in there, because they're not down in the actual soil yet. So that'll give them a little wake up. We've got a little plant here that we put out the other day. We're going to do the same too, because it's got a little shot going on. You can see we have a few weeds coming up here in the walk path because of the rain we got this last week. We had about 3/4 of an inch of rain. So that's encouraging these little weeds to sprout. So we'll get the wheel hoe out here today and take care of those pretty darn quick. Here's our peas. We're going to be eating peas off of these here pretty quick. We've already got some blooms going on, but our peas are probably 3 feet tall here. Here's our other variety. This side over here is climbing the trellis fairly well, but the southerly breeze blows these away from the trellis. So I'm going to get some tie wrap and just kind of go around those and pull them back towards the trellis. Got just a little bit of leaf curl on top, so it may be time to give the garden a shot of water. It was plenty moist last night when we put the plants in, but probably wouldn't hurt to give them a shot. You can see our green onions. These are ready to harvest. We have our cucumbers starting to climb. We're getting to where when we're out here in the garden, we got to start weaving these through the trellis. So like this one here, we'll take and put up here like this, get it going through the trellis. This one here we can weave that way. Not quite long enough that wants to stay. There we go. All of our tomatoes are growing up, looking good. These 3 right here are brand new, so they're not quite as tall as the rest. But we're starting to weave these in the trellis as well. And we've gone through and we've cut all the lower limbs off. And it's probably time to do that again. I like to keep about a foot of the stem cleaned off to where we don't have leaves down towards the ground. When it rains, it'll splash up and we'll get some disease off the ground. But squash is looking great. We have some tiny squash growing already. See in there? Within the week, we'll probably be eating some zucchini squash. Look at those onions, folks, going crazy. Collard greens. Got our celery. We planted that out the other day. And that's all of our Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage down on the end down there. Been having a good garden year so far. The peppers are finally starting to grow. They weren't liking the cooler temps at night, but for the last couple days or so we've got plenty warm at night. So they're starting to perk up. Look at all of our choke cherries. Here's our other choke cherry. Absolutely loaded with cherries. Look at our grapes coming out of hibernation here. Starting to show little grape clusters. All of our fruit trees are doing good. We don't have any fruit set on them. They're real young trees, and we got a late frost for the fruit trees. These two Honeycrisp apples have no apples to be found. The two big apple trees out there, the smaller one on the right is got a good crop of apples. The large one on the left, kind of a real small crop. You got to look around, but you can find them. Kelly's roses doing beautifully. The girls in here are laying really well. Look at the clematis taking off, already climbing to the height that last year's was almost. But the roses are thriving over here. Got our first round of spinach harvested, and we harvested some lettuce and some bok choy out of this tub here. I don't know if this lettuce will grow back, but we will see. Our kale is ready to pick, so maybe we'll make a big pot of kale and potato sausage soup tomorrow. Kale took over this whole tub. This is all of what's left in the greenhouse. Some of it's volunteer stuff. But I'm going to give the tomatoes, an acorn squash, and some watermelons away to a lady in town. And then these are our habanero peppers. We're waiting for those to get big enough to transplant. And then our basil's ready to go. We'll get that basil planted out probably today or tomorrow. Well, we got all of our lettuce, spinach, and collards washed up real good. We're going to get these into the house and clean them up. Maybe I'll stir fry some of those collards to eat with some fried chicken I have for lunch. Alright, it's afternoon now. We had to make a trip into town. Kelly came home early from work. So after weeding the driveway, we have these little divots here in the driveway, or ridges, that I want to get out. So we're going to take Kelly's four-wheeler here. We're going to smooth all that out. Alright, driveway done. Also went out to the mailbox, had packages. It looks like we have the parts for our John Deere Model E hit and miss engine that I ordered. And we also have our Haas Tool wheel hoe implement came in. So let's get this unpacked. Alright, looks like we got all of our parts. We have a full gasket kit for the whole engine. We have the stickers for after we get it painted. We've got piston rings. We got the air intake cover, or kind of like a choke. We have our magneto bolts. We have our hopper, water hopper drain, and then a full fuel line system. So that's cool. Probably do a shop cleanup day here tomorrow after, probably in the morning. And then we got to mow some of the yard outside, and then we can maybe get after this little motor. Here's our item from Haas Tools. It's our oscillating hoe that goes on our wheel hoe, 12 inches wide. And they send us a Get Dirty keychain. So thanks, guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and throw this on the wheel hoe real quick. There it is, all bolted up. It's got 2 3/8 bolts, carriage bolts. Just slip it in there and tighten it up. So I know it's probably getting a little muddy out in the garden, but I'm going to go out and give this thing a try. Wow, this thing works awesome. Kind of hard to do one-handed, but it does a real nice job, and it's easy to push. Puts the handles at the right height here. Try to get a couple rows done out here. All right, I picked out my worst row right here. So we're going to do this row real quick. We'll show you the before and after, and we'll tell you how long this took. All right, we got her done. Took 5 minutes. So basically 5 passes. It takes about a minute to walk down to the end of the row with a wheel hoe. And I know you can still see some green down there, but those are all uprooted weeds and will dry up. So figure 5 minutes, we have 6 rows. 30 minutes you could do this whole garden walk path area. So that's super easy. Now the other thing I love about this is this, the hoe articulates, so you're at perfect angle going forward, and then you pull backwards, it kicks the other direction, and you can pull this thing just as easy as you can push it. It's pretty cool. Goes back and forth. Super neat. Messing around out here in the garden, where are you getting bell pepper over here? This is a yellow variety. Starts out green just like any other colored bell pepper. We got some more on some of these other plants too. Pretty early. All right, we did the other half of the garden while we were out there. Might as well while we have it out there. It didn't take very long. It's pretty cool. You can still get modern parts for a 1931 piece of equipment. In fact, you can still get that very plate with the wheel and everything on it from Haas Tools. You can see our drip irrigation right now is about 1 foot wide, and it's completely connected all the way through. So we're going to go ahead and shut this down. There's no need to water it 3 foot wide, so we'll shut her off. Kelly actually said she's going to be planting sunflowers in the morning, and she wanted the furrowing tool put on, so I swapped that out real quick. That's kind of the furrow that it cuts right there. Thought I'd show you the baby guineas. You probably haven't seen those in a while. They're not too small of babies anymore. They're real skittish like the last bunch of guineas we had. They do everything they can, try to get as far away from me as they can. But there's 6 of them there, believe it or not. They're almost all the way feathered out. So it won't be long, they'll be going downstairs into the bigger pen. Kelly came in over the weekend and she laid some more mulch down here around the grain bin. She's excited because she's got her first ever, what'd you call it, echinacea?
Echinacea or coneflower.
Getting ready to bloom.
The vinca's all around there now too. A little bit.
She also planted vincas around just in front of the coneflowers. And she had a fantastic idea.
Not coneflowers.
Coneflowers. She had a fantastic idea. We always have an issue getting the mower through here. We always pick up this mulch with the mower. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut out this grass here in kind of a circular pattern on either side. So we no longer have to mow through there. We'll mulch that and make kind of an extended flower bed out of this. So now we can just drive the mower around. Fantastic idea, babe.
Thanks.
Here's our herb pot. We ended up with like a volunteer squash in here. I don't know how it got in here. Maybe the birds brought it in. but we're contemplating leaving that in there and just letting it flow over and see what it does, but maybe, maybe not. But all the herbs are doing really, really good. We're about due to pick some sage out of here and dry it. What are the yellow flowers, babe?
Calendula.
Calendula. Love those. Take a look at this clematis. Going crazy over here. Beautiful, beautiful bush here. Kelly mowed the lawn last night. All these irises here on the back of the house have just about done blooming. We're eventually ripping all those out. We don't really care for irises. Well, I think we're both going to call it a night. We've got done just about everything we want to, and just going to relax out here in the grain bin for a little bit. Maybe listen to some music and play on our phones. So, till next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. Hope you enjoyed our little garden update today. We've got a big day tomorrow. We got a lot of grass to mow, so we're going to get on that tomorrow. We'll see y'all next time. Bye, Cal.